esteemed wanderers and contributors? Yes, contributors, as some of you have joined various organizations such as the SMO, T.S.E, or even the computer gurus of school tech. Each of you have found ways to help us survive this crazy hellscape we call the schoolrooms. Unfortunately, our many discoveries have led us into even greater dangers than before. Recursion, a phenomenon proposed by the T.S.E after a City of Hope resident from level 53 provided valuable information regarding their escape from attempting to go beyond level 999. They described the space beyond as an infinite expanse of repeating rooms with a possibility of slight variation in each room. These rooms create themselves as the wanderer progresses, while the space they leave dematerializes entirely. Since then, recursions seem to only occur rarely due to failed attempts at reality glitching, such as no-clipping or wrong warping. It is proposed that these recursions are a sort of failsafe, spaces to prevent students and wanderers from entering what is considered uncharted territory in the schools, which is defined by what the principal knows about or has direct access to. The T.S.E, as well as other organizations, have deemed that these areas of influence are considered clusters, and is why we have levels numbered designated from 0 to 999. We believe that the principal might only be able to influence one cluster at a time. Which brings us to today's main topic. What occurs outside this main cluster? We have oddball levels, known as enigmatic levels, sectors, which deserves a video all on its own, and negative levels, in which we will cover some of today. What are negative levels? These levels are typically more challenging, dangerous, or odd enough to not fit into the main level cluster, but not crazy enough to be considered enigmatic on their own. These levels are not only typically harder to access for the wanderers, but for staff, entities, and even the principal as well, making them high value and a high priority location for organizations in the schoolrooms to study. So, expect the unexpected as we dive into the first 5 negative levels of the schoolrooms. Let's dive right in. Level -1, known as out of bounds, is the first negative level of the schoolrooms and is considered either a safety net to catch things from falling outside the schoolroom's boundaries, or the leftovers of some beast consuming various sections of random levels. Either way, level -1 is considered to be highly dangerous, highly volatile, and highly unstable. It takes the appearance of mass combinations of any level from Cluster 1, also known as the positive levels of the schoolrooms. It is as though bits and pieces of every level is crammed into a sinister, tangled web of whatever space it can grab or mimic. Even the entities here are glitched and act irregularly. Hallways and rooms are warped and twisted, or even inverted, while items are anchored and immovable until they entirely disappear as soon as they are unobserved. The level itself tries to prevent wanderers from leaving and will even emit dark matter particles, causing irreversible damage to wanderers that stay too long. Entering is difficult outside the negative cluster. This usually occurs after a failed attempt at no-clipping and falling out of bounds. To exit, find a deeply distorted door to lead to level -2. Find a door made from human flesh to enter level -3. Go through a burnt door to get to level -4, and a door with various numbers can send you to level -447. No clipping through a computer can send you to level -749 or the glitched catastrophe. You enter a pitch-white door, hoping to find something new, something different from before. You find yourself in an older-style classroom, which is otherwise ordinary. Finding nothing of use, you exit the doorway and it disappears as soon as you exit. That was odd. Before you appears to be the same level you just came from, but something is off. The temperature is different? Is it stale? The layout seems backwards. The colors are wrong. Everything is here, but it's in the wrong place. As you travel deeper and deeper into this strange place, you begin to notice the lack of any life form, entity included. Where are all the staff? The principal? You keep exploring, and after about the 4-hour mark, the level starts to distort and warp. Dark matter particles start floating around you while they slowly begin breaking you down at the molecular level. You find an exit and it works, only to find that the new level you've entered is also warped and distorted. Something is very wrong. As you may have figured out by now, you actually did leave your previous space from before. You are now trapped in level -2, known as warped realities. This level mimics any and every level found in the schoolrooms, but, as described before, is slightly off or backwards. Anomalies such as extreme temperatures or analogous events do not occur on these level clones, and as soon as you realize you might be on level -2, your priority should be to leave. Exits to levels function as normal, but they only lead to other level clones, which would indicate that you are still stuck on level -2. As of current knowledge, there are only 4 known true exits to level -2, each involving a specific level mimic. Entering a level -2 clone will cause the level to self-destruct around the Wanderer, in which they will end up on level -3. Exiting a cloned version of level 666 will lead to level -4. Exiting a cloned version of level Sub-Zero will lead to level 15.5, and attempting to no-clip out of a clone of level 11 will lead to the glitched catastrophe. Level 3 appears to be a series of infinitely repeating classrooms. There isn't much for the classrooms outside of what one would expect: chairs, tables, and a blackboard. Oddly enough, there are no windows or a teacher's desk in any of the rooms. The rooms seem to be sometimes slightly different than the last one, such as rooms being unfurnished, rooms having differently placed chairs and tables, sometimes rooms being slightly smaller or larger than the last room. Wanderers have reported hearing sounds of rumbling coming from the walls. All wanderers that attempt to break the walls to investigate the noise were never heard from again. If any of them were connected to anything, their connection was just cut the moment that they were about to hit the wall. There are no entities, although some believe that the rumbling coming from the walls may be caused by an entity. This is currently unconfirmed. There are no colonies or outposts. However, there was one that had been established in the level at one point with the purpose of studying it. However, the colony lasted less than 4 hours before all the members disappeared, except for the man that was accompanying them, who was the only one to come back from the mission.
Him.
There is only one exit.
Him.
Eventually, you may come across a final exit door. Enter it to be sent to level -4. It's getting a tad toasty in here for my liking. After finding a hidden key and exiting the locked classroom, you turn back around to see if you left anything useful behind. Of course, it locked itself back again, and you guessed it, the key also no longer functions. Before you is a long, endless school corridor with doors lining the walls to the left and right. The doors all have numbers or symbols and are, as of now, completely sealed and impassable. You continue down the hall and the temperature will start to rise. This is the last warning that you will get. You have entered into one of the most dangerous levels in the schoolroom, known as Burn to the Ground, or level -4. The temperature will continue to rise to unbearable temperatures until the alarm bells begin to ring. This is your cue to start running. Once the sprinklers activate, you will notice a wall of fire chasing you from behind. This infernal blast incrementally increases in speed the longer you run away from it. Due to the sprinklers, the tiles are slippery and the air is humid. As you frantically attempt to escape hell itself, the building around you begins to fall apart. Sections of roofing collapse and parts of the floor cave in. If you're lucky and you have a keen eye, you will eventually find a fire escape door, which is the only unlocked door in the entire level and your only chance of survival. If you accidentally pass it, another one will appear eventually, so keep running. Once you finally do push through, you will find yourself in front of the entrance of a burnt school. You will hear sirens in the distance before you inevitably pass out on the ground due to smoke inhalation and exhaustion. When you do eventually wake up, you will find yourself on level -5. We are gathered here in memory of the hopeless, a friendly group of wanderers that, despite their name, started their colony full of hope. They had assumed to have found a safe haven in level 0. It was somewhat worn down, but free of danger. One fateful and unfortunate day, a member of the hopeless snapped, and they all tragically lost their lives. We have decided to keep the name of the wanderer that lost their mind as a secret, as not to taint their legacy. We have discovered that they were never on level 0. No, they had attempted to establish a colony on level -5 as back to school. Yes, it seems harmless at first, like a worn-down level 0 devoid of windows or lockers. But we have discovered that there is something about that place, something that infects the mind, something that enrages and pushes the mind to insanity. Wanderers, if you enter into a school area with discouraging messages plastered on the wall, messages such as, "You should have left," or "You aren't supposed to be here," we encourage you to leave as soon as possible. We should also inform you that no more than 5 people seem to be able to be on that level at a time, so please do not expect any rescue operation. To exit, no clip through a computer to get to -749. An unlocked door can lead to -7. Breaking a locked door will lead to -6, and clicking on a EYE file called PRT_2 will lead to -2. Please be wary, please be diligent, and don't let the legacy left by the hopeless die in vain. This has been a broadcast from the student election. Are school nurses qualified for therapy? I'm gonna need it after surviving those crazy levels. No wonder people try to avoid the negative cluster of the schoolrooms. Did you survive unscathed? I bet you have stories to tell after all of that. That wraps up today's video. Hopefully we see each other again soon, and hopefully it's in safer circumstances. I'm going to go find a sanity snack and some apple shine to try and forget about that whole experience. Till next time, thanks for watching.